Hello all, a very good evening, and myself, Ekta Dubey, on behalf of the Analytics team and our partners, Innovation Next and Gini, we welcome you all and thank you for being part of our webinar, Digital Tools for Developing Innovation Capacity. So before we start the webinar, I would just like to highlight few guidelines to everyone and make you people aware of, requesting all our attendees to be on mute when the speakers are taking the session. There would be a Q&A after each session where the attendees can ask respective questions to our speakers. You need to raise your hands, unmute yourself on your video, introduce yourself, and put your questions to the concerned speaker. Yes? So to start with, I would like to introduce the title partner. Innovation Next is the world's leading organization in EdTech solutions for developing large-scale innovation and startup capacity. We have Gini, that is Global Innovation, is the world's leading professional certification, accreditation, and membership association in the field of innovation. So we're happy to have both of them, and they're going to share some interesting insights on the digital capacity for the innovation, digital tools for developing innovation capacity today. And now I would like to invite Mr. Jay Bhardwaj to introduce our speakers today and to start the sessions. Over to you, Mr. Jay, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Ekta. A very, very good evening to all of the participants. And before going ahead with the session, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker, who has been Mr. Anthony Mills. A brief introduction about Anthony Mills, who is the Executive Director of the Global Innovation Institute. That is called GINI, the world's foremost certification, accreditation, and membership organization in the field of business innovation. Anthony is on a mission to help organizations all over the world become more purposeful, human, and innovative. This is not simply the innovation theater of yesterday, as Anthony calls it. For this reason, Anthony works with fully committed business leaders who are completely serious about becoming the undisputed leaders in the industries and markets, and who truly wish to put a dent in the universe. And his clients span all across North America, Europe, Middle East, and Asia. Anthony is a globally sought after thought leader on emerging markets, proactive growth strategies, future shaping, corporate innovation, open innovation, business insights, workplace experience, the future of work, entrepreneurship, product design, and design thinking. His work has deeply profound and lasting impact on organizations all over the world. Anthony is also the author, contributor, executive director of the following publications, namely 60 Leaders on Innovation, the Future Fit Manifesto, The Other Side of Growth, Applied Innovation Master Book, that is of GINI, and Collaborative Engineering and Internet. Anthony is also a founder of the private consulting firm Legacy Innovation Group. Without wasting any more time on that, I'd like to bring on the platform Mr. Anthony Mills. Over to you, Anthony.
Thank you so much, Jay. I appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for having me here today. It's a pleasure to be here with you. What I'd like to do, I know a number of our attendees today are probably new to Global Innovation Institute. So I'd like to first give you an introduction to Global Innovation Institute and orient you a little bit to who it is and what it does and its footprint around the world. And then I'm going to really share with you my vision, particularly for those of you in the academic world, my vision for this partnership. So that's what I really like to share with you today. So to start out with, then, you can see my screen here. So who is Global Innovation Institute? Well, as Jay mentioned, in the field of innovation, Global Innovation Institute is really the world's leading professional certification body for individuals and business accreditation body for organizations, as well as a membership association for both individuals and organizations. And GI9 aims to advance individual careers and transform organizational achievements by advancing the profession of innovation leadership. And by that, we mean also helping organizations to make innovation a systematic process in the organization. And we do that through our globally recognized standards and tools and publications and resources and professional development courses and certifications and applied research and networking opportunities. So we have a lot of resources that we offer to the world. And what we're talking about here today with this partnership on the Worldwide Innovation Network platform is another one of those resources that we offer to the world as well. GI awards professional certification to individuals who meet strict professional experience and educational requirements, who pass a challenging certification exam, who commit to ethical practices, and to those who maintain their certification through continuing innovation education. All of the certifications and accreditations that are available through GI reflect the world's most current methods, trends, and strategies in innovation leadership. GI truly sets the standard for innovation excellence around the globe, as you'll see in some of the materials that I show you. Our mission at GI is to transform people, organizations in the world to Innovation 2.0 and beyond. And what Innovation 2.0 means, it's where innovation becomes a coherent, ongoing, systematized, and professionally managed activity inside the business enterprise. So that's really our goal. That's what we're working toward, is to help organizations achieve that in a very mature way. Our vision is really to make the world a better performing place because of us, to help organizations truly launch innovations that have an impact and hopefully make the world a better place in the process. In terms of the GI brand, this is what we believe. We believe really for too long, the world has gone without a clear, strong, unifying voice for what makes effective innovators and innovation managers and innovation strategists and innovation executives. So we've come along to change that. Our brand was designed to stand out and clearly represent who we are and how we think and act differently about innovation. It's our unique identity as the go-to source for advancing the formal profession of innovation and innovation leadership. And that's important because, it's really, if you look at the innovation space, it's very crowded. There's a lot of voices out there. So in this crowded marketplace of voices, our recognized certifications and accreditations and our other resources, they demonstrate our commitment to this cause, to really giving the world the best possible standards against which to develop their innovation prowess. As we continue our global expansion around the world, we're committed to constantly providing the tools and the resources that organizations need to stay on the leading edge of innovation capability. And that's what GI is really about. Welcome to the new world of innovation. Welcome to GI9. Now, to give you a sense for the Institute's global scope, we've certified professionals all over the world, thousands of certified professionals. I think it's probably closer to 40 different countries now, and many people who have signed on as members of the Institute and are, major advocates of the Institute. So as you can see, we have a footprint throughout, North America, some in South America and Africa, in Europe, extensively in the Middle East and India and all over Asia, Southeast Asia, Australia. We have people certified all over the world, even up in Russia and so forth. In addition, the Institute works through a network of authorized providers around the world. And so we have providers spanning much of the globe now who do a lot of the training programs for our professional certifications, and they do the business assessments for our accreditation program. And as you see, we have providers here again in the US and Canada, several in Africa, many in Europe, many in Southeast Asia, and a lot of them in the Middle East as well. And we're in the process of bringing Australia on right now, and we're working towards South America as well. So in much of the world, we have a network of providers who have signed on with us. And many of these providers are very active in really delivering a lot of the training programs and helping organizations get their people certified. So we do have this very large global footprint around the world. And this is just a real small sample, some brands that you recognize of people, of where people work who are certified. So, we have people certified who are in places like IBM and SAP and Microsoft and Amazon and Apple and Dell and 3M. So organizations you recognize, a lot of the people that we've trained are in these organizations, as well as countless many others, and a lot of them are also in the public sector, in government organizations, and in the Middle East, where we have a very strong footprint in the Middle East, and a lot of those organizations are in the public sector, particularly in the United Arab Emirates and in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and also increasingly more in Saudi Arabia too. So we have a very large network of individuals who've been certified in both the private sector and the public sector and in universities. Likewise, with our accreditations, organizations around the world have different accreditations as either certified innovative organizations and labs and so forth. And in just a second here, I'm going to explain our different certifications and accreditations for you so you understand those. So before I do that, one other major resource I want to mention is the Institute's Applied Innovation Master Book. And the Applied Innovation Master Book is the world's most comprehensive body of knowledge book on the subject of innovation. And you really won't find another resource that like it anywhere. And it's available exclusively from GI9, and it's a part of the journey to becoming professionally certified by GI9. So anytime individuals want to be certified, their first step is to purchase a copy of the master book. And it's a very, again, comprehensive book, about 856 pages, that covers all of the GI9 certifications in the comprehensive body of knowledge. And they would study the sections that are relevant to the certification they pursue, and then they would pursue the certification. So this is part of the process of being certified. And it is a reference book that many people keep on their desk as a go-to source for business innovation. The book is available actually in both English and Arabic and in print and digital formats. As I mentioned, our program has been very popular in the Middle East. So we actually have a second office. In addition to the US, we have a second office in Abu Dhabi that runs a lot of the Middle East operation, and they have Arabized all of GI9's training materials as well as the master book here. But this is a core piece of knowledge that our whole program is built upon, is the master book. We have also business partners around the world, and you're going to hear more about this later on when Mr. Rajpal presents for us. But this is one of our authorized business partners, is Innovation Next, and we're a partner in the context of delivering the Worldwide Innovation Network platform to organizations around the world. Some of the other organizations we have business partnerships with include Sagacious IP, which is also in India, and they help provide discounted IP services to GI9's members. We have a partnership with Professional Development Foundation in the UK for developing graduate degrees in innovation and providing those on behalf of different universities. And we also have a business partnership with a firm in the UAE called Unlimited Media Instruments that we work with for designing and building innovation labs. And they have, for example, they built the Dubai Police Innovation Lab, which is accredited by GI9. So we have partners like this in different places around the world, and that's actually a growing network of business partners we have for doing some very specific things to support this whole practice of corporate innovation around the world. So I'm going to explain to you our professional certification program, and there's 6 specific certifications. I'll explain each one and what they're targeted for, so you have a sense for what our professional certifications are. The first one is called the Certified Innovation Associate. And I mentioned this one in particular because I know there's a number of you on this event who are from the academic world representing different universities. And in particular, the Certified Innovation Associate is intended for university students, and specifically, typically juniors and seniors if they're undergraduate, those who are nearing their graduation point and they're about to enter the workforce for the first time. So it gives them a credential that says they have a certain knowledge of certain areas of innovation, including some entrepreneurship aspects of that, so that as they're out looking for new careers, that's another credential they can present to help them really land those careers. The next certification we have is the Certified Innovation Professional, and the CIMP is intended for those who are in industry working as professionals, and they're either the frontline staff who are going to execute innovation projects and pursue new innovation opportunities on behalf of the organization, or they're the innovation managers who help them to run the projects and help drive the innovation program. So they're really that frontline staff that's really driving much of the innovation inside of a business organization. The Certified Design Thinking Professional, or CDTP, this is specifically meant for people inside organizations who are going to serve like as internal innovation consultants and go really, really deep on design methods and innovation methodologies in general, with the idea that they're probably going to plug into different teams as sort of a floating internal consultant and help different teams use a lot of these design methods to work through the challenge area they're working on and really reframe those better and come up with better innovations in the process. So this is for those innovation specialists inside of organizations in typical cases. The next certification is the Certified Innovation Strategist, or CINS. And the CINS is targeted at like senior managers and directors, those who would probably lead innovation groups or lead departments or maybe lead business units. And they have to understand, and they have to do two things in particular: understand innovation in a broader context, not just product innovation, service innovation, what we deliver, but really thinking about business model innovation and customer experience innovation and broader contexts like that, as well as thinking about innovation strategy. How do we think about where we want to innovate, how we want to innovate, where we want to have impact, and then how do we consider all the new opportunities before us and select the ones that best align to that strategy and have the biggest impact on the organization. So that's what a Certified Innovation Strategist is intended to do. And then we have the Certified Chief Innovation Officer, CCINO. This is targeted at the senior executives in the organization who are tasked with architecting and operating a corporate innovation program. So at this level, they have to understand innovation at the corporate level and how we're going to put together a complete program and run the program to drive innovation systematically and consistently and coherently throughout the organization. And so this is targeted for that executive level who will run the whole program. And that's who would be typically your Chief Innovation Officer. And then finally, we have the Authorized Innovation Assessor. These are individuals who are certified by the Institute to carry out and conduct the assessments for business organizations who would like to pursue accreditation with the Institute. So in many cases, these are outside consultants who get certified as assessors, and then they're able to go in and work with our providers to do the assessments so organizations can get either their programs accredited or one of their assets like an innovation lab accredited. But sometimes organizations, and often actually, will have internal AINAs who are able to do the assessments internally so they can do their own internal innovation maturity and capability assessments on behalf of their own organization. So that's common as well too. So those are the 6 certifications. And you can also see these as in a career progression standpoint. A university student might get CINA coming out of school, and as they get into industry and are working, they might pursue CIP certification. And then as they go on in their career, they may eventually pursue CDTP. As they move up and get promotions, perhaps CINS. And then eventually, if they reach the level where they're needing to run a large part of the program, perhaps they'll pursue CCINO and maybe AINA to do the assessment process as well. So this certainly makes for a career progression standpoint as well. And the important thing about the Institute and the certification program is that the way we came up with this is we looked at what organizations need in order to be able to carry out a really effective corporate innovation program. And we defined it in terms of specific roles they need. And so they need people in specific roles to support that program. And if you get the right people in the right roles and trained and certified, then by them working together with a common understanding of business innovation, a common language around it, they'll be able to really drive a really effective corporate innovation program. So that's the idea here. Next, I want to share with you GI9s' business accreditation program and the things that the Institute accredits. So first of all, is a certified innovative organization. This is an accreditation of the organization itself, and in particular, its innovation program, and is an assessment of the maturity and capability of that innovation program. And there's different levels that organizations can achieve here. There's the starter level, there's a middle, medium level, and there's the highest level. So we do have some organizations that have achieved the highest level, a couple. Most organizations, a lot of times, will be in the middle level, but it's an important process for them to go through and do an assessment of their innovation capability and maturity and understand that. And then they're able to show that their level of maturity through this type of accreditation. Second type is our first one that's looking at a series of assets the organization has, and this is the Accredited Innovation Lab. And basically, this is an assessment of their innovation lab to ensure that it is designed and operated in a way to really support their corporate innovation program and help them to actually achieve the outcomes, results, and impacts they need to from that. So again, both of these involve assessors going on site and doing assessments of the asset. So a number of organizations have their innovation labs accredited, and I personally visited a number of these accredited labs around the world. They're important assets and tools for these organizations. The next one is the Accredited Business Incubator. And again, this is an accreditation of business incubators that does an assessment of do they have the resources in place, the people in place, the processes in place to actually support the new business ventures that they're trying to support, and have they actually produced results and impacts from that. So there's some organizations around the world that have their incubators accredited. Often these are associated with universities at times, but they have the accreditation to show their accomplishments in that area. Similarly, our accredited accelerator programs. And as you know, accelerator programs are programs that are running cohorts, usually every 4 to 6 months, they'll have a different cohort, and they're trying to get founders to ramp up very quickly in new startups and get them off the ground. So again, this is an assessment of a program to look at, does it have the processes and the resources and the people and the things in place to really support these startups and these ventures to get a rapid start, and have they actually produced results and impacts from that. The next one, I highlight this one a little bit for those, again, from the academic world, is called the Accredited Innovation Education Program. And this is an accreditation of undergraduate and graduate degree programs in business innovation. So if you have a degree program innovation, Global Innovation Institute really is your go-to source for accrediting that, because there's not really other sources in the world that are focused on accrediting educational programs in innovation. So this is an important one for universities to consider if they want to have an undergraduate degree program in innovation. And then finally, our innovation endorsements. Often the Institute is asked to endorse organization-specific innovations. And so we have very strict criteria for doing that. The organization has to have conceived it, developed it, launched it, and it has to have produced impact for them. And if it meets those criteria, we will endorse the innovation. And we have, in fact, endorsed a number of innovations from organizations around the world. So that's the Institute's Business Accreditation Program. And again, the professional certification program is for individuals. The business accreditation program is for business organizations and universities to really help them demonstrate the caliber and credibility of their assets that we're using to support corporate innovation. The next thing I'd like to share with you, and by the way, after I'm done, we'll certainly have time for questions and answers. So if you have any questions about the certification accreditation program, I'm happy to answer those, and we'll have those at the end. But what I'd like to share with you next is our vision, the Institute's vision for higher education institutions, because I know a lot of you here today are from higher education institutions, and we have a specific vision in the context of this partnership we're talking about today for those institutions. So I'd like to share that with you now. So our vision is that you would be able to empower your students to ultimately achieve the most rewarding innovation careers. And if you're able to promise your students or give them some assurance that if you go through our program, you're able to secure a rewarding innovation career, then there's a lot of value there, and you're going to attract more students and better students into such a program. So that's our vision. And there's going to be two key things that you want to consider to really help that happen, is to help your students try to achieve the Certified Innovation Associate certification. Again, this is a recognition of university students who have demonstrated a clear understanding of certain fundamental topics relating to business innovation and to serving as a contributing innovator inside a business environment. So for those university students that are preparing to enter the workforce, there's really no better way to stand out as a knowledgeable innovator than having this certification. And then the second thing, as an academic organization, is to consider to have undergraduate and graduate degree programs in innovation and to have those accredited by GI9. This is our accreditation, again, of university innovation educational programs that meet our comprehensive and strict educational performance and quality criteria. So for university programs that focus on business innovation, there's really no better way to demonstrate the proven outcomes of your program to your students than by having the accreditation. So these two things together if you consider as an academic organization to have the accredited educational program and to help your students pursue the Certified Innovation Associate certification, that's going to really help set up your students for ultimately achieving really rewarding innovation careers. And that's important because, as you see from this report from the World Economic Forum, the demands for specific skills inside of industry is changing dramatically. You know, we're moving away from things like memory and recollection and necessarily just technical doing per se and traditional quality control and things like that. And we're moving much more, toward right brain practices, if you will. Things like analytical thinking and innovation and creativity and originality and initiative and complex problem solving and reasoning and so forth. So, we're trying to move your students in that direction, and a lot of what innovation is about in general is exactly those things. And so by helping your students to pursue Certified Innovation Associate certification, you're going to really give them a means by which they can demonstrate that they have moved toward those specific type of skills. So that's why this is so important for your students. So specifically then, our vision for the higher education institutions is that you would, number one, provide your students with the different tools and resources they need to pursue new innovations and possibly new startups. That includes things like the VIN platform that we're going to hear more about later on this morning or this evening. It includes the Applied Innovation Master Book from GI9, and it includes giving them things like innovation labs and innovation mentors and incubators and so forth to work from. So trying to give them these resources and tools is an important foundation. The second thing, again, is to enable your students to prepare for and achieve the GI9 Certified Innovation Associate certification so that they are prepared, and this was going to ideally measurably improve their chances of being able to achieve the new careers innovation that they desperately want. So helping to support them do that is important. And then finally, provide them with world-class undergraduate and graduate degree programs in innovation, something that can be assured by having those programs formally accredited by GI9 as an accredited innovation education program. So if higher education institutes will do those three things, then invariably they'll turn out world-class innovators that really can't help but deliver innovation that raises the bar for the nation in terms of the national prosperity and prestige. Let's try to make the world a better place in general. But it starts with these individual students and helping them to become innovators and secure careers in innovation. That's the goal here. So that's our vision. Now, you have an opportunity now, your organization has an opportunity to partner with Global Innovation Institute and Innovation Next. And that's what I'd like to talk about next, is this opportunity to partner with us specifically. So the leaders of GI9 Innovation Next, that's myself, Anthony Mills, and Mr. Pravin Rajpal from Innovation Next. We are both ranked as top 50 global thought leaders and influencers in the area of open innovation. And we've come together recently to bring the world one of the most truly powerful and useful open innovation tools anywhere, the VIN platform, which you're going to hear more about shortly. And that's kind of where we are. We're working on this together. And the VIN platform, I'm not going to go into details because you'll hear the details later, but it is a powerful platform with a number of resources that are useful to you that Pravin will explain later. But a couple of my favorites I really want to touch on are the actual, knowledge base here of different resources that you can access. There's global policies and reports, there's MNC innovation labs, there's incubators, there's accelerators, there's MNC challenges. It's just a wealth of tremendous knowledge and resources for really promoting open innovation and ecosystem innovation, if you will, in your organization. And then there's different creativity tools, in particular the 3D idea generator that Pravin will explain is a very powerful tool for helping to spur creativity through a form of what's called morphological analysis, looking at different combinations of factors. So it's a very powerful platform. And we're very proud to partner with Innovation Next to present this. Now, Global Innovation Institute, we have a number of different packages, bundle packages to provide this for you. We have some specific packages that are for the private and public sector. So for corporate entities, and these revolve around, having corporate membership in GNI, having a number of people in your organization become council members, getting a certain number of included CIMP and CDTP and CCINO and other certifications, GI9s included, and then the rest of them will be at discount. You get discounts on the Applied Innovation Master Book. So there's a lot of value for corporate membership there. And then this is bundled with the Innovation Next offering of the WIN platform and all of its different tools and support from Innovation Next. So we have specific bundle packages for the corporate clients. And then likewise for the university clients, we have specific bundle packages. These are focused more on getting the students involved to become student members, getting your faculty and staff to become council members, getting copies of the Applied Innovation Master Book in front of your students, and helping the students again become certified innovation associates, and then also having access to the very powerful WIN platform for supporting your students and so forth. So we have, all of these platforms have scales to them depending on how many students or how many employees are involved. And there's also options for independent student groups at different universities as well. And then finally, we also have options for individuals. So for working professionals or for students, there's options that individuals can pursue as well. They can get, a professional membership in GI9 and access to the WIN platform. So we have a number of opportunities, whether you're a corporate or a university or a student group or individuals. We have a number of package options there for you to look at. And we'd be happy to entertain meetings and discussions and conversations with any of you to talk about those packages and the value of corporate membership or supporting your students and your faculty and staff through memberships in your organization. So feel free to reach out to us about that. And there are a number of organizations around the world that are corporate members of GI9. And again, these organizations benefit a lot from the value they deliver. They get from having, their members become members of GI9, from having a lot of their staff become certified. So there's a lot of value there, and there's a number of organizations that have pursued that. So remember, our vision again is to give your people, whether students or employees, to give them the tools and the resources they need to really pursue innovation in an impactful way. And that includes a lot of experimentation and trying things out, right? Give them the resources and the culture and the environment and the space to do that. And then help them pursue the certification that's appropriate to them and help get your organization, its programs and assets accredited appropriately to likewise support them. That's our vision for all organizations. And that's really going to raise the bar on their ability to promote innovation in their organization and their ability to support their people in being innovative and pursuing new innovation. It's very important. So if you're interested in learning more directly from Global Innovation Institute about the offerings here for memberships and for the bundled WIN platform, we have a web page for that. It's gni.org/membership/Worldwide Innovation Network. Or you can email us directly at winplatform@gni.org. And we'll be happy to answer your questions and have meetings with you to discuss the value here and how we can support your organization in really pursuing a sound innovation program and activities inside of its four walls. So with that said, that's really what I wanted to share today. I will open the floor for a few minutes to questions and answers. For any questions that people have. If you have a question, I can look in the chat box here. If you have a question, you're welcome to put it there. Or you can raise your hand, so to speak, and I can unmute you. So again, the chat box is open if anyone wants to ask a question there. And if not, then, I'm happy to pass it on to Mr. Rajpal at Innovation Next. Again, I'm going to be here. So after Pravin speaks, if you have additional questions for me, I'm happy to answer those at that time as well. It seems like we have a question here. Rama, can you unmute yourself? Are you able?
Yes, Rama, you need to introduce yourself and put your question to Mr. Mills.
So hi, I'm Dr. Rama. I'm Dean of Academic Affairs at Bennett University in Greater Noida. I have a couple of questions to ask for. I mean, the first one that when you are mentioning about the degrees in innovation, my understanding of general innovation is that it is thinking out of box. So if my definition is true, so then how the thinking is taught?
So, yeah, I mean, so innovation is in a really a nutshell is partly thinking out of the box. But the other thing about innovation and the beautiful thing about innovation is there's actually lots and lots of knowledge that's been developed over the last 25 years about innovation, specific innovation practices, you know, whether it's design thinking or outcome-driven innovation or TRIZ. There's really detailed knowledge around all kinds of methodologies for innovation. So, you know, it's not, if you run an organization, it's not enough just to tell your people, okay, go think out of the box. So if they're thinking out of the box, a lot of times in organizations, they're thinking about things that may even be a threat to what in the organization currently does, right? So they're going to come up against what's called corporate antibodies or the corporate immune system. They're going to come up against resistance at times. So you have to have at the leadership level, you have to have sponsorship and leadership and culture and environment that helps them give them what we call the air cover to really get innovations through the organization and get the support they need to get these new ideas through against any resistance. And then even then, you know, how do we know the idea is really well developed? So there's a lot of methodology that you then can be taught to individuals on how to go about truly refining their ideas and making sure that, you know, they're solving the right problem. Is it reframed to be the right problem? Is it a problem worth solving? We have to do research to justify it and make sure the scope is there and it affects enough people and there's enough scale for a solution to be adopted. And so, you know, there's methods and techniques for doing that. So there's a wealth of knowledge that can be taught to university students inside of an academic program to teach them a lot of the methodology of innovation, techniques and methods and practices. It's not just the philosophy of thinking out of the box. There's actually true, you know, you can call them almost scientific methods that are used and taught to enable and empower people to actually do these things and to enable organizations to make it a systematic process. So that's what gets taught in the academic programs is a lot of that knowledge on top of, you know, other core curriculum and so forth and other supporting curriculum. So does that kind of answer your question?
Fine. Thank you. And I have one more question to like sort of a follow-up question to this. When we look into how many or rather it is, I mean, this question can be seen in two ways. Either how many organizations are, how the organizations are ready to tag a freshman as an innovator. I mean, the question is going the question is going to be more apt for me because at some point in time, I have to represent my student community.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's
and in industry, if you look up at quite a few jobs are mundane jobs.
Yes, this is true.
This is the origin for asking this question.
Yeah. You know, there's I guess two parts of that. So number one, you know, innovation actually involves a lot of different skill sets. Now there are people who are inherently more of a maverick or a rebel, and they make for great innovators because they're very curious. They're always questioning things. Why this? Why that? So you can do assessments of individuals and try to identify people who think that way, you know, as a starting point. But the truth is, innovation is things that can be taught, and everyone can become a part of doing innovation. Even, you know, when it comes time to, because a lot of times we think of innovation as just the front end, the ideation and having great ideas and brainstorming, but innovation actually entails a tremendous amount of work on the what we call the mid zone and the back end. And the back end is about executing, actually getting the project developed, you know, getting whatever is designed, you know, conceived, defined, designed, developed, getting it implemented. There's a tremendous amount of work that goes in that. And some of that work is mundane too. And some of the people who are going to work on the back end for execution aren't necessarily the most per se creative people in the world, but they're still part of the innovation in the organization. So there's actually a place for everyone at the table when it comes to innovation, regardless of what your personality is and what your propensities are. There can be a place for everyone. But there are certain types that and we have what's called the innovator's genome that presents different archetypes of different people and sort of what their dispositions and skills are, and it really puts them into what their role probably should be, where they fit into the process. So again, there's a role for everyone based on what your dispositions and capabilities are. There's a place for everyone. So coming out of, as you look at coming out of school, by having people, certified, they want to do cool new things in innovation. And it's true, a lot of the work can be mundane. So the answer to that part is, okay, we want to encourage organizations to open themselves up to what's called bottom-up innovation or participatory innovation, which means they're going to run different challenges and campaigns and activities where people get involved and do things outside of their regular day-to-day job. So you can almost think about a dual path where inside of industry, they have the opportunity to do two things. They have their normal day job, which could be extremely mundane, but often they have opportunities to support their organization with new ideas and maybe putting together teams to pursue them to a certain level. And that's where organizations can run all sorts of different, ideation campaigns and hackathons and business model competitions. We actually have a catalog of like 22 different mechanisms they can use to really engage. And what happens is when they run these type of events in industry, it awakens the entrepreneurs inside of the industry. So it could be a person stuck in a corner doing a very mundane job, but now they have another opportunity outside of their regular day-to-day job to go do something else in addition to that and contribute to new innovation. So, the more you can find organizations that have these opportunities for entrepreneurs, the more they'll find reward from that. So sometimes, and then there's even a third part of that is what we call smuggling innovation, where people, even if the organization doesn't have a formal entrepreneurship program or a formal bottom-up program where they're promoting that, people who want to be innovative, they'll find opportunities and they'll go and they'll push that on their own initiative. They'll push new ideas for that. So sometimes we call that, the rebels at work and smuggling innovation and things like that. So if people want to be innovative, they'll find ways to do that, even if it's not inside of their normal everyday job. But the ideal, for everyone, of course, is to find a job where they can do these things as a regular job. That's gives them the most exposure to it. So I hope that helps. Are there any other questions?
Thank you.
I see. You're welcome. Yes. I see a question here. What is authentication for accreditation for education institutes? I'm not sure if you're asking what the process is for having a program accredited.
In fact, I am asking, this is Dr. Kalurkar.
Huh?
I hope I'm audible. I'm asking, when we get for accreditation for an education institution, what is the authentication? Means, how can I claim this accreditation with any of the government agencies here in India?
Global Innovation Institute is globally recognized by, most organizations. And so, it's a pretty demanding process, first of all, to get accredited, where we have to go through, curriculum reviews and faculty reviews and facilities reviews. And sometimes there's on-site visits and student interviews. It's a very demanding process. And so, the criteria is very involved. So once an organization gets that accreditation, then they can attach it to their program, and in all of the promotional materials for that program, they can show this. I'm not sure about India specifically, if there's some particular body that, the Institute needs to talk to help, further that process. And some countries do that, and some countries you don't. I'll give you an example. In Dubai, we have a partnership with the something is called like Knowledge and Human Resources agency of the of the Dubai government that recognizes, helps to recognize these types of accreditations and certifications. In some countries like the United States or the UK, there really aren't established bodies where you have to do that. So if India has that, we're happy to talk to them to help that. But aside from that, Global Innovation Institute is a globally recognized accreditation source. Just like if you have an MBA program, there's about 6 or so different bodies around the world that accredit MBA programs, depending on what part of the world you're in. And there's probably one that's predominant in India that accredits MBA programs. So a body like that would be, recognized. Or, for example, in engineering, you have what's it called? The Engineering Accreditation Board, right? In the United States, because I have 2 degrees in engineering from North Carolina State University, and those are accredited, and that body is recognized. So in terms of innovation programs, Global Innovation Institute is a recognized source for accreditations. And so if you go through that process, which again is demanding, you've earned that accreditation and you can show it. And if we need to help talk to the government in that process, we're happy to do so. It's a great question.
Yeah. So
Any
more questions, audiences?
Well, if not at the moment, again, and you're welcome very much for that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to hand over the floor to Mr. Rajpal to take over from there. So bear with me a second while I go through that process.
So now I would like to thank Mr. Anthony Mills for sharing his great insights on the subject. And now I would like to invite again Mr. Jay to please introduce our next speaker to start the session.
Thank you, Ekta. Thank you, Anthony, for...
Can you see my screen, Jay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you, Anthony, for your insightful session and covering of the and answers to a lot of insightful and pertinent questions to the topic. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. Pravin Rajpal, who has been a global innovation thought leader, founder of Innovation Next, and is ranked #1 in the open innovation and EdTech by different agencies across the globe. So he has been a visionary leader changing the world, as has been said by Informa of the UK. He is founder of Innovation Next Consulting, the pioneer and market leader of digital tools, a world-leading authority on and facilitator of breakthrough innovation, a strategic futurist who has transformed many organizations for a better world. He has transformed organizations from a cigarette manufacturing company to FMCG companies. He has been an innovative and creative leadership coach to Fortune 500 companies. And he is, of course, the developer of the VIN, the Worldwide Innovation Network platform that has been a breakthrough innovation coming out from a country named India. And we have so far set up more than 30 centers across the country, and we plan to take it up in a much bigger way in coming days after an association with GI9. And lot of awards and recognition have come into all his while. He has been awarded by World Global HRD Congress, and he has been a renowned named leader in the Biomedic Global Foundation. So I'd like to hand over the session to Mr. Pravin Rajpal.
Thank you very much, Jay. Really humbled with your kind introduction. And thank you very much, first of all, Ekta, for making, putting all your efforts to organize this event. You and your team, I think you people have done a great job and you tried very well. And my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to Anthony Mills, who really has been a great support to us. I think the moment he saw the VIN platform, from that day to even today, helping us in building it even more stronger. I really feel short of words. We are really very, very proud partners of GI9, and it could not have happened without Anthony Mills and the vision that he has of changing the world. So thank you, Anthony, once again for a brilliant presentation. for excellent insights, for the vision that you have for this world, and also for your wholehearted full support to us. We look forward to a wonderful journey with you. Good evening, friends. I welcome everybody wholeheartedly here once again. And I can also see some very known people here. I can see Dr. Kalurkar. Dr. Kalurkar, who asked the last question to Anthony Mills, was one of our first customers when we had set up the innovation center in India, about 3 to 4 years ago. And he's done a fantastic job, let me tell you. And their innovation lab is really turning out. Every day they are creating new innovations and new startups and so on. Thank you, Dr. Kalurkar, for being here today. And also, Mr. Pranveer, I can see he's also.
Pleasure too, sir.
Yes, and I can also see Mr. Pranveer over here. Other people, thank you so much. There are some people I know here. So all of them, I can see Maureen Tong from South Africa. Thank you, Maureen, for joining us. And everybody, today. Well, we are extremely happy to present something very novel in this presentation to you today. We want to introduce to you the world's first incubator on the smartphones. I mean, you would have heard about the incubators at the universities or other private incubators, having cubicles and, providing spaces to people to develop ideas. Now, the World Innovation Network that we have, what we call it VIN, is actually a cloud technology platform. It's digital empowerment strategy for India and the whole world. The whole world actually, because of the pandemic, has been, I would say, pushed at least 5 to 7 years into the future. I used to physically go and set up these centers. We no longer do that. I mean, we do that, because we cannot travel. So we do that centrally from Gurgaon, our office here. And the whole idea of preparing this World Innovation Network, worldwide innovation network, is to supercharge your innovation and startup ecosystems. How do we enable people to recover? My main concern was that people are into a crisis today, all over the world. How do we enable people to recover from that crisis? How do we put them on the fast track? And how do we enable them to create a sustainable future? Because I think these are three very, very important questions bothering every entity, every company, every government, every individual, every startup. How do we enable you to do that? So the VIN Cloud Platform, it provides basically millions of people with the incubators and the accelerators on their smartphones and the PCs. Because billions of people do not have the access to the incubators. The incubators help them in converting their ideas into businesses. And the accelerators, they help those ideas to scale up. I mean, that is the principal difference. So we thought, why don't we provide both the facilities on the smartphone itself? What a game changer it is going to be. And this is the only thing which can help us in achieving the higher innovation index, innovation growth and investments. We cannot do for a select few people. We can't be doing it for a certain elite class of people. I think India has got, about 55 million students entering the higher education every year. That's a very big number. How do we provide this facility to everyone, especially at a time when they cannot attend the colleges, they cannot attend the universities? So, we thought that it is extremely important. I think this slide says all as to what we have done. It is very, very important. If you see, what we are doing, the people on the left-hand side are the innovation seekers. So the government, the companies, the R&D centers, the venture capitalists, countries. On the right-hand side, you see people who are the innovation providers. Now, these providers, that you see on your right-hand side are basically universities. Are basically universities. And then startups, technology providers, professionals, and students. Now, each one of these entity is connected to the innovation seekers on this VIN platform. And why have we done that? I think there must be a question in your mind as to why are we doing this. See, it is very important to connect the people for boosting the innovations. In front of you, there is a chart that talks about the patents per million by WIPO. South Korea 3,148 leads the world. Japan 2005, Switzerland, we have another 2,000 people, and then we have China, which is about 1,001. But if you see India, India is only having 37 patents per million. So when we analyzed the entire thing, we found that the industry academia co-innovation in all these countries were there. India had an exception where, we had a completely disconnected system of innovation ecosystem. So it is extremely important for us to have a connected ecosystem in the form of VIN platform, which is going to connect all the stakeholders together. The connectivity between the innovation seekers and the innovation providers that we have over here actually, can create a very, very big open innovation ecosystem where the universities can connect with the MNCs, with the accelerators, with venture capitalists, and with the innovation funds. I think that is the whole idea that we have here. And this is actually going to reduce your innovation cycle time. It is going to boost your growth. So if you were taking about 2 years, you might just take about 3 months. And one of the glaring examples of, the collaborative innovations is an example of the collaboration between Innovation Next and GI9. When I was updating the databases of the best consulting companies and certification companies in innovation, I found their name. I immediately wrote to Anthony, and I was very surprised to have his response within no time. That's how the world is looking for ideas. Imagine what is going to happen to your startups. Your startups will have the access to hundreds of companies to whom they can write, for funding, for databases, for the mentorship, for prototyping support, scale up, etc. So if you see the whole evolution journey over here of the phones that we see here, we have seen the phones getting transformed into an e-commerce, into the maps, into banks, into doctors. We wonder what next for the innovation, and the disruption age. What should the phone do for us? And we thought that the best thing that the phone can do for every individual could be take the role of an incubator, because people cannot go to physical incubators these days. And the next role we thought could be the role of an accelerator. So that's the journey of evolution that we have created. So the VIN Cloud basically transforms every smartphone into an incubator and an accelerator, right? And it also transforms every PC, every laptop, every computer into the personal, incubator and an accelerator. You cannot survive without innovation in this age. The world is getting disrupted very fast without it. Business and innovation has become synonymous. There is no survival of any business. The primary reason why we did this, is basically, to develop the large-scale innovation capacity which the new innovation policy talks about. The new innovation policy says that you have to democratize the process of innovation, democratize entrepreneurship. How will you do that with universities having 10,000 students, 5,000 students? India has large student number base. Can you imagine the number of professors required to teach 5,000 students about innovation and entrepreneurship? At least 100. Where will you get them from? In any case, we have a great dearth of those professors who have the knowledge on the field of innovation and entrepreneurship. The next was ARIA ranking, the Atal ranking of the institute's innovation achievements, which says that every institute will be ranked on the basis of the number of startups that they have created, the funds that their people have, the money that they have raised, and the ideas which you have commercialized. How will you do this? It is not possible without the digital capacity. And the most important thing is the collaboration between the MNCs who are giving great support. I would say there was never a greater moment in the history of education system where the students could have gained such mileage from these companies. And if we fail to leverage that, I think we would have failed to leverage it, to take advantage of a very, very big opportunity. So it is very important for the universities to switch to the new EdTech solution, to the VIN platform, so that they can get a great advantage. And it's a very, very comprehensive platform which has got the VIN platform, the 3D idea generators. I'll get back to you on this. The ready-to-use mind mapping templates, assessments, elevators, pitch, so on and so forth. So everything right now, basically, can be accessed on your smartphones. 2 years ago, this was not possible. But today, we upgraded our technologies. We use the best platforms. We changed our tools to be compatible with Android and Apple, everything. We got our mind maps onto the smartphones. We upgraded the technologies to make sure that it happens for everybody in the world on the go. It's very important to know that the world that we live in does not compete on innovation alone. I think the world today competes on the speed of innovation. The battle out there in the marketplace is not whether you're innovating or not, but are you innovating at the great speed? That's how Samsung defeated Nokia by going to Silicon Valley and partnering with Google. I think that is the glaring example of open innovation, where you have to collaborate with people if you have to do something. So the students can make their pitch presentation straight away from the screen. It is the breakthrough startups, it can happen on their phones. So I think the whole digital empowerment of youth, which is going on in this country, even from various states, how do we empower the youth? Everybody talks about, out of the box ideas, innovations, the need for the innovations. The government talks about the policies. Everybody talks about the needs, but how do you execute those policies? How do we make sure that, we derive the maximum results from the efforts, that we have put in? How do we optimize those results? So I think this is an empowerment, a digital empowerment, a breakthrough empowerment for faculty, for students, for everybody. And of course, we take a great pride in the fact that, GI9 would be, taking the VIN platform to 40 countries in the world. And, we talk about the Vishwaguru Bharat. We are very humbled. We are playing a very small, but a very important role here. We've made a beginning, and we are very sure that, this product is going to become a global product within a very, very short span of time. The whole idea behind it is to empower the students and create a big impact on the global indexes. If you take care of one thing, it impacts everything together. We don't need to think about the other parameters. If you improve your innovation and entrepreneurship capacity in the country, you affect the global innovation index of India. You impact the global startup India ranking. You impact the GDP, because GDP and patents are absolutely related. China filed 15 lakhs patent last year. Global competitiveness index, because that talks about the innovation ecosystem, the human capital, transformation readiness. Talk about another rank, which is digital competitiveness rank. I mean, we are at 72 today. I think we can do very well in all these areas. The global talent and competitiveness, I think Anthony talked about the need for talent. You know, when he talked about that World Economic Forum chart to you, how important it is for people to be talented these days. So we can improve our WIPO rankings of the number of patents per million. Just one thing. And that is what is very, very important. If you take care of the innovation index, the innovation and entrepreneurship parameters, it is going to affect everything. Now, I want to straight away take you, without wasting any more time, on the platform that we have created. So here on your screen, one second. I'm going to show you the VIN platform. Yeah, and it is right here on your screen. You can see here 4,100 resources or assets. I call them assets and resources because without them, it is very difficult to create a successful innovation journey. I mean, an intellectual capital needs a solid research. If you're doing innovation and if it is not backed by the research, if it is not backed by the proper information and knowledge, it is going to be very difficult for you to succeed. So here we have, you know, very, very important sections. I will not go inside those sections for the best interest of the time. Yeah, but yes, one-to-one, we can have our meetings, you know, in case you want to know more about it. We have many people today. Those institutes who are wanting to know more can get back to us. But the resources for creating breakthrough innovation. Another very important factor, we do not focus on incremental innovations. If you are not having a breakthrough innovation, it's not worth it. If you have a competition, it's not worth it. We are very happy to say that VIN platform does not have any competition from any part of the world. This is the only kind of a source, and we filed a WIPO patent to make sure that no other person in any part of the world can actually do that. So you have, you know, how do you create a breakthrough innovation? How do you get your foresights? You know, how do you analyze the trends? You know, how do you see what's happening around the world when it comes to, you know, the futuristic trends for innovation, for customer trends? How can you assess yourself? So on and so forth. So the power-packed resource which is there, how do you develop creative ideas? How do you assess the power of your ideas? You know, you can actually test the score of your ideas, and then, you know, develop breakthrough designs. Simply, you know, go inside the channel, click it 1 second, and write whatever you want. Supposing you say it is IoT, you just write IoT, and your students and faculty have an inspiration of the latest IoT design by this company called Red Hot, which gives the awards for the best designs in the world. That's the source of your information. And if you want some more ideas from here, simply click on them. I mean, you click on them and you get some more ideas. This is the gas tank IoT integration system. How can you improve upon it? I think innovation is never an end. Many of the students can iterate around this. They can find out what could be the Indian solutions, what could be the Indian problems, you know, which can be solved with this. It's an application of the product. For example, Alexa. Alexa is not an end by itself, but can Alexa help us in solving the problem of concierge in the hotels? So why should I have somebody telling me which is a good place to go out and see? I can ask Alexa. I think that's the kind of, you know, creative application of a technology. That kind of a mindset is required by the students in India. And I really don't know how to develop this kind of a product or a prototype or a POC. So thanks to the power of the digital technologies, if I really want to know, I live in Gurgaon in India, which is the best place near me which can create this design that I have in my mind. I can click here, I can go here, I can go to Lopez Design and say that their office is in Sushant Lok, Gurgaon, Haryana 122001, and I simply click here, go inside there, and I'm ready for the proof of my concept. That's one of the biggest problems that the students have these days. They really don't know how to create a minimum viable project. They don't know how to create the proof of concept. I have my choice. I can talk to them. I have plenty of other companies to explore. We did not want to give just one solution. We wanted to give, the end-to-end solution to people. I think, and I think that is something, which is very important. What kind of creativity are you doing? If I go and understand the levels of creativity, what do you mean by the out-of-the-box ideas? So the taxonomy of creativity, it starts from imitation. Right? It's very easy to imitate. And many of the projects that we have here are the copy-paste ideas. Can we do a variation? Can we do a combination? Can we increase it further by bringing transformation into it? And then the original creation. I think a very good question was asked, as to, is it about just out-of-the-box ideas? I think it's much more than that. You go from one idea and keep increasing the levels and, your impact of the breakthrough. So therefore, I think it is extremely important to understand that these platforms are going to provide some amazing knowledge to your students who are desperate. And sometimes I feel that, by providing the books to them and telling them to learn and mug up the entire thing, we are completely taking away and killing their creativity. We should not do that. It's a very different world we live in. This is not the world that, we were. I mean, we have the generation alpha. They are not used to studying and memorizing. They have ideas. Can we give their ideas the shape? So, from there to business plans, to making successful pitches, to, the resources for getting the funds for the early stages, everything that a business would need to succeed, to the venture capital, the best companies. I mean, that's covered in section 1. Section 2 has more resources for you, the career portals, technology transfer officers, and the links. But look at section 5, technologies and applications. As I said, I think innovation is more about giving an application to a technology. So who would have actually, thought that the technologies today would be growing at an exponential pace? And look at the way they are impacting our whole world. How they are one technology, is basically impacting the cluster of various technologies all over the world. And that's something very, very important to understand. It's about the connectivity and the dots that we have as to how do we connect those dots. Now, the whole idea we have over here is to provide the students and the faculty with knowledge and with power, which also covers the syllabus. I mean, for example, all the pivotal technologies, the assistive technologies, which is required to be covered by the syllabus by the AICT is covered here. So what is this drone technology? I can simply go and then see this drone technology on my screen. And as I see the drone technology on my screen, I see hundreds of applications of drones that I had never imagined. And that is what is the whole idea. Can we, inspire? Can we stimulate the imagination? Can we trigger those points? So, how can the students learn? So that's one of the videos you saw, how in US people are experimenting with drones for fire extinguishing. There are many. Who would have thought that the coastline would be watched? Who would have thought that one day this technology, which was used for killing the army, is actually going to, killing the enemy, is actually going to be used for the purpose of light entertainment shows by Disney World and Intel. That's creative. Can we trigger that creativity in our students? And can we then also provide them with the drone solution providers? That's the research with it. So if they have to partner with somebody wants to create a mining solution and he doesn't know what to do, you have the drone service provider here, who's an expert in this mining. There are so many big companies, including the Tatas here, who are into the mining, iron ore and everything. If the student, he joins an organization tomorrow, whether or not he becomes an entrepreneur, but at least he knows that here is the company which can provide the solutions. Today, to know the tech intelligence, to understand the technology part is extremely important. So what we have done is we have provided the complete, resource over here for people to understand what is technology. Look at the robotic trends. I mean, the way robots are being used today. The age of industrial robots is over. What we see today, robots at home, robots everywhere. But do our students know about it? And who are the best robot solution providers? For example, if I click inside this and go inside this and see, you will find the future is served. So tomorrow, if I have to set up a restaurant, or if I have to suggest to the best hotel industry in India, that how do you create a wow factor? How do you attract the best of the customers to your hotel? By creating a robo restaurant. That's the mindset that we want to bring. Because ignorance in today's world about the technology is going to be the biggest drawback. Whether or not you use them, but at least you should know that this is the world of future. This is how the world is going to function. And these are the solutions, which are there with us. So the part of the technology solution providers is very, very large. It is the heart of the whole world innovation network. I mean, smart agriculture, for example, the agriculture solution providers, wonderful machines, right from the stage of seeding to, nurturing to harvesting. Look at these amazing machineries, which are there in the world, which can drastically improve our yield and inspire the students to, create these machines for the agriculture of India. And these are the solutions. Innovation is all about finding out the solution. And if you want to partner with them, simply go and see the kind of list that we have given over here. The world's best companies, the best organizations to partner with you are all here. Sensors, in the Internet of Things products, the IoT, you talk about it, the smart logistics, smart shipping. The next section talks about the various challenges. How do we inspire our students to resolve the challenges? Click here and they go inside the platform and they see various challenges of the world. That's how you develop the global mindset. So what are the challenges over here? They can view the challenges. They can see the prize money. They can see what is the last date. $15,000. So similarly, $20,000 here, $5,000 here. So, and these are all dynamic sites. They can go, they can explore and improve their, problem solving skills, which is so very important today. Various platforms, Agorize, HeroX in Canada, EgoNet, the Idea Scale, then we have the business challenges of Buzoku, Open IDEO challenges, innovation challenges, hubs. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. The good part is, sustainable development goals. The good part is that, they have been given a great choice, depending upon the passions that they might have, the interest that they might have. Tata Innoverse from India. The moment I go inside this company, an Indian company, they get to see the challenge and they get to see the prize money, which is rupees 20 lakhs. They get to see the challenge. They get to see the prize money. And I think, so what is the novel method of drilling that the students can think of? And they have got a great mind. Unless you challenge them, my thinking is that unless you challenge a student, he will never come up with the ideas. And they have got a great mind. So how do we provide that great mind a very, very good direction? So we have these challenges. We have incubators and the accelerators. We have the top venture capital companies in India and all around the world. But Here is the platform that I want all of you to see, which is the open innovation platform of the MNC companies. 118 corporate venture companies providing support to the startups. Click here. Simply go inside and see. Look at the companies, right from Alphabet and the Google to LG to some amazing companies. If any student today, he has an idea on let us say, health tech or a pharma business, can you imagine how many companies are standing in the queue? So you can see we have reversed the queue. The student used to be standing in a queue for the jobs. With this, we anticipate that the companies would be standing in the queue to get the ideas of the students. So we have Pfizer Ventures, we have AstraZeneca Ventures, we have Merck Ventures. Go inside. In 1 second, I'm inside the company. There are no barriers. I mean, you can imagine when you used to have a postman coming to your home to deliver a letter, and then what happened when the internet came. We have to shun our conventional methods of industry academia. We don't need anybody to create any connections for us anymore. I think that's a big disruption that we bring in over here. So really, if you want to see how is this company, Merck actually, funding the early stages of innovations, right? If you want to know more, click over here. Here is a portfolio, and you can see what are the companies which they have created. Get some ideas, improve upon these ideas. Artios, for example, is a company. If I really want to go inside this company and see what they're doing, I have all the knowledge and information with me. So I think that's the kind of platform we provide, available to you 24/7, wherever you are. That is the beauty of the package. So we really call it more than the incubator and the accelerator. This is your success. This is your win. This is your victory. Then we have Johnson & Johnson standing in the queue. We have GlaxoSmithKline in the queue. We have Sanofi Ventures. We have Eli Lilly Ventures. We have Roche Venture Fund. We have Novartis. How many companies do you want? If a student's idea does not click with one company, he has got 10 more companies. His career is not depending on the jobs anymore. If he creates one patent, and if he's able to sell one patent to them, it's worth $1 billion. That's how values are created. But here the thinking is, will I get a job of 5 lakhs of rupees? I think we need to change that mindset. Now this is Cardinal Ventures, partnering with the student founders to build a future. Look at energy. How many companies do you want? Go to Shell, for example. Can you believe that a billionaire Fortune 500 company, they say that, we partner with the startups and we fund their early stages and take them to the scale up and the growth phases? What a moment we stand, and what are we missing? I mean, I would say that, any university who is still sticking to their old mindset of closed innovations, they are going to lose. They are not going to come ahead of the others. And therefore, it is very, very important for the universities to really leverage this platform, provide the students. I mean, then you have Chevron, then you have BP Ventures, you have Grid, you have Total. Look at the number of companies, which are there. And then, if you really want to go out of this, Anthony provided us day before yesterday with corporate co-innovation centers. Wonderful list. Now, these centers, the only difference that they have made between previous time to this time is what I saw, that they were called corporate innovation centers, but they have changed their names and they call it co-innovation centers, because they have realized without the ideas of the universities and the students, they cannot work. Now, this is divided into 10 sections again: technology, retail, finance, health, beverages, auto. I mean, go over here, technology companies. The name of the center is Cisco Global Co-Innovation Center. I go inside this organization and see that, how they are trying to create a space where they would be working with the partners like the universities and the students. What a moment. And thank you, Anthony, for this wonderful piece of information, which has added a great value to the product. Now, that's the kind of, co-working also. GNI and Innovation Next is trying to create this platform even more powerful. We want to add more value to this every day. So it is extremely important for the universities to know that the only thing we are looking at today is how do we bring in more value to your organization, to your universities. And so we have accelerators by the FMCGs, accelerators by the automobile companies. So it's so simple. I want to go and partner with a company, let's say Procter and Gamble. In a conventional method, I would have gone through my industry academia director. I don't need him. Disrupted. Let him focus his attention on some better jobs. And I have here, what is P&G looking for? Straight away go inside. I have the list of the requirement which that company has. I don't need to do any market research. And you will know that most of these startups, they fail because they have no connect with the market. And if I want to further go and find out oral, personal, family care innovations, 16 current needs, what more do you want? Your market research has been done by your customer. So you have, for example, they say we need respiratory technology because of the COVID, because they have done the market research. That's the power of the package. That's the power of the whole idea that we are trying to bring into you. Then we have Unilever Foundry, then we have Pepsi, then we have Kellogg's, then we have Starbucks. The list goes endless, and all of them supporting the students. If that's not enough, many students in India want automobiles, because they are very fascinated by that. The world's largest patent filing company in automobiles, Bosch. What do they say? The moment I go inside, they say it's a win-win partnership between Bosch and startups. And then they say this is what we provide to the startups. What else would you need? My only question to the universities is, what else would you need? Please tell us. And we will be very happy to know and provide you with that. So we used to say that dreaming is not enough, but Honda tells the people only to dream. So the students are back to their world where they can become dreamers and not merely people who can actually deliver the innovations. If they can dream and, talk to the companies, these companies are going to give you funding and prototyping, testing the products. They will give you the mentors. They will give you the collaboration workspace. They have given the areas, what their focus is. They have told you, what people are doing. What are you waiting for? Just get in touch. Click here. And it is accelerator@hondainnovations.com. The mail is ready for you. I don't think it can be much faster than this. We live in a world where it is a survival of the fastest. Whosoever, gives his ideas at a faster pace has got more chances of winning in this world. So all these companies, I will not take you further, but that is the kind of work which is there. We also have Indian companies over here. So somebody wants to partner with the Aditya Birla Group, simply go inside. Hundreds of companies are there. They have got 10 companies in their units. 5 days are still left for this challenge. What are they providing? Challenges, themes, hackathons, partners, collaborations, piloting, investments, grants. Look at the dashboard. 36 have already collaborated. So I think it's a great opportunity for all of you, and that you need to definitely seize it and see that this becomes one of the best platforms for you to develop the large scale innovation capacity. I come to the other tool, which is called the 3D idea generator. Now, this tool is the innovation Rubik's. The students, they want to play. one of the mindsets that they have is innovation should be fun. It should not be boring and monotonous exercise. It should not be something, which is taxing your brain a great deal. So we created this rubrics, which you can see in all the 6 dimensions, the left, the right, the top, the bottom, and we have 12 such cubes for every need. This is for a design innovation. So any newcomer, any student who has no idea of what design thinking is, he's not creative at all. That's the artificial mind we provide. So he can actually, create many new combinations of ideas. How can I make the product, much more simpler than what it was? And he simply circles it and, takes it to the mind map, which is the next step. How can I combine 2 different technologies? How can my style also have solutions? You're not happy with this, we can shuffle it more. How can I minimize, the area taken by this product? It's everything about miniaturizations. By using this product more and more, I think it has gone into our mind. I just thought, why should the incubator and the accelerator be so big as the size of a building? Why can't the incubator be on the mobile phone? Where is the physical structure of a bank today? Where is the bank? It's vanished. The physical structures in future will vanish and the virtual and digital structures, going to replace them. So what can we utilize? Can we utilize the cloud technologies? Can we substitute the physical with the virtual ones? Can we eliminate completely the need for people to go to those accelerators and the incubators? So whenever I was giving the example of this idea generator to people on design thinking, it went into my mind. I'm not a born genius. I was a very, very ordinary student. So all I want to say is that, even the ordinary students can come up with the extraordinary and breakthrough ideas. That's the power of this package. So while explaining this, it just went into my mind. How can we, create a great futuristic product, which is going to resolve some great challenges of the world. So here you are. And then, I can take the screenshot and take it to my mind map. I can keep it. I can come next time. Or, if I want to shuffle it right away, I can shuffle it. Can we make it self-driven? Why should I allow anybody between the artificial intelligence and the student to come in? Why? Tell me one good reason. So we thought of this. Let VIN be a self-driven product. Can we create the connections, with the company so that the students don't have to struggle? Can we create a digital platform which is much more efficient and not only for the students, but all the segments of the innovation ecosystem? These are the ways that, we thought about our ideas. And the result is in front of you, where today you can create some amazing innovations with this kind of a product. I have helped Tata Motors to create the next generation of cars with this, right? I've helped Aditya Birla Group to create their future growth with this. So I'm sure, this is going to be of great help. And if you want to shuffle it, let it be out of the human bias. Because whenever, you have the human bias, the randomness completely goes away. And when the randomness goes away, there is no creativity. We must have randomness and the creative chaos. Generate the creative chaos. So it is programmed for a 20 times of random shuffling. This is not in my hands now, but imagine the mathematical possibility of 43 quintillion, combinations and permutations, which you are going to get out of this idea generator. I can pick up, the marker and say that how do I make my product much more cost efficient? How can I make my product energy efficient? Instead of making it bigger, can I make it portable? Yes, I get an idea. Let's make it small. Can I resolve the problem? By looking into a little more cheaper means of creating the utilities and creating a smarter product. How do I make it a problem free? I can go on and on. And this is only one side. You can go on the next side, and see what are the kind of ideas which are given on this side. So Why don't we use the vertical space? Wherever I went in the factories, I only saw that, the horizontal spaces were used. So we suggested to many companies, use the vertical space. Why don't we use the harmful effects, right? So how can you create the energy solutions? I mean, it's on and on. I mean, and the second idea generator is about artificial intelligence. Look at the product that you have on your screen, and how it is going to create some amazing combinations in the field of artificial intelligence. You just tilt it here and there. So we have AI, and I want to create something for the automotive industry. I can simply shuffle it. I can shuffle this and say, create some new ideas, which were unimagined. So that's the whole idea of creating, the idea generator. Move to the mind mapping section. The most important asset that we have here in the repository of VIN is the set of 100 mind maps. And the good part is that we have created this mind maps by giving you the principal idea. This is the principal idea Internet of Things, which is covered by the AICTE syllabus, by giving you the main idea. But what is more important is we have expanded them to sub-ideas. So it is very easy for the students to simply go over here and see as to, what they can do and how they can actually, create some new solutions out of it. And if you want to further, analyze these ideas, you can always go and say that, expand these ideas, so on and so forth. So I think it is very important that the students look at these sections. If you want to know about the smart factories, go to the smart factories, smart cities, go to the smart cities. So how are you going to create, a big impact? So when you have these smart automobiles here, I can expand them. I can say that this is the idea I have: smart driving assistance. Immobilize the engine for drunken drivers. Want to make a presentation? No need for PowerPoint. Go and make the presentation from here. So what is the pitch of the student to the professor? He says, I have an idea, and he expands the idea on the bubbles which are given there. We gave up to smart driving assistance. He expanded by saying that you have to immobilize the engine for drunken drivers. We gave the idea up to automated emergency management. He said, the drones for charging the battery of electrical vehicles in emergency conditions. We gave an idea up to driver safety systems. The student expanded it and said that, there should be a risk alarm before overtaking. There should be pothole sensors. There should be pedestrian sensors. That is the beauty. Every mind that you have over here is a powerhouse of innovation. They go to factories today. When they go to the factories, they have to go and make the improvements in machines, methods, material. They are after all mechanical engineers. How will they do that? How will they resolve the problems? Because the bookish knowledge and the knowledge of the shop floor are two different things. So if he walks on the assembly, let us say, plant of Tata Motors, he will find out that, there are so many things to be seen over there. The whole menu of 52 items required by a manufacturing, unit. So why am I using the excessive materials? Why do we have an excessive movement? Why are we doing the over processing? What is my waiting time? Space layout, for example. He can give ideas that the space layout is not right. There is too much of a movement. So why don't I have a point of usage storage? My materials come from store every time. Why do we have the speed losses? Conversion efficiency. If he has any idea on this, cost efficiency, he need to pick up a topic here, subtopic, add it, and he adds his ideas. And his mind map, is completely ready for giving a presentation on the cost efficiency. We know that we are working in a jet age, and we cannot provide systems, which are of the different age, a very slow age. The world is exponentially changing at a great speed. And for this, we realized that we have to give them things which are going to be really, really very fast. How do we enable a simple student to design it? So how will he combine products, processes, technologies? How will he eliminate the problem areas? Think about this. And not only that, every technology we covered. So this is an example of covering a technology. How will the drones be used for the airports? If he has any idea, so he has to simply click here and say the subtopic and say, I want to use the drones for the surveillance in the future, right? Or, I want to use this drone, in case of an emergency, to supply the tea and coffee, from the drones, for the telecom sector, the inspections, the leakage in the pipelines can be detected by the drone. These applications have not been thought of. I mean, if I was to do all this, I think I would have a great repository of patents in mind. But that's not the intention. The intention is to really provide solutions to the students, provide them, the methodology by which they can actually, create a breakthrough. But what is a breakthrough? A breakthrough, is something which exceeds the industry norms. It reduces the price below the industry norms. It addresses the unmet customer needs. While talking about this breakthrough innovation template to many companies, these ideas went into my mind. They took shape. And every time I was trying to create a solution, they used to tell me, first of all, why don't you do this? You do something, which is a breakthrough. And that was a very difficult challenge for me. I said, yes, I think if I can demonstrate to the world the kind of work that we are doing, which has got no competition, that will be truly a breakthrough. So I think we challenged all the conventions. The conventional wisdom required people to go to the incubator. We shunned that. There was nothing wrong with Microsoft selling shrink-wrapped products in the packages and all till Google came and offered everything online. That's the difference. So how do we create this game changer innovations? There is a complete set of mind map for students to convert the ideas into businesses. That's called the startup development framework. I don't have the time today, but next time, if you really want to know that, how to convert a business idea into an evolutionary idea into a revolutionary business model, or an incremental idea into a monumental business model, feel free to talk to us. Thank you so much for your most valuable time and for the patience that you have shown and giving us an opportunity to showcase the breakthrough that we have created for you, or for the benefit of the universities and the governments. If you have any comments, if you have any suggestions, or if you have any questions, I will be very happy to take it. If you can write it, if there is anything that you want to say. I cannot see any questions.
Pravin, I just wanted to comment that you've done an excellent job of just really highlighting and demonstrating how powerful this tool is and how rich it is. I mean, I could see universities giving this to their students and, having any sorts of innovation and incubator programs and using this as the basis for it. And students can take this tool and really almost spend a lifetime digging through the incredible resources the platform has. So it's a wonderful, wonderful resource for universities and students to give their students and have them use. And I'm very excited to have access to this. I believe we have a question from Rama again. If you want to, Rama wants to unmute and ask her question.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Pravin. It's rather a very great tool. I mean, I should appreciate it. It is a small word if I say that it is a great accumulation of all the resources, but it is much more than that.
Thank you. Thank you.
One thing that I wish to ask is this platform has to be through university or students can access on their own?
So this has to be through a university because we give the B2B license. So, and the student access it from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, an individual student cannot access even by paying or do.
No, it is a B2B license, and that is how it is very, very beneficial to them. The individual pricing is going to be a little higher. So we don't, usually we appreciate that because there are many students and everybody should access this. So we can speak as to how we can provide the enterprise licenses to you. Please leave your number, or leave it in the chat box, and we'll definitely get back.
Actually, what I would do is that I'll connect. I may not be a right person, but I'll connect through our entrepreneurship cell.
Yeah,
they would. I mean, they would be more appropriate. Of course, I'll be happy to be part of the discussion, but they would rather have a
Mr. Batra was there. You can talk to him. Mr. Vinod Shastri was there. I don't know whether they're still there or not. But if you're from
I'm speaking about Vinod Shastri.
Okay, so you can give the feedback to Mr. Vinod Shastri. I will be sharing the recording of this video. And you can also share that recording with them.
Actually, that would be much great because a video of, a video of this sort would be much useful to share.
Sure, we will do that. Sure, we will make sure that it reaches you. Yes, thank you so much for your feedback, and we look forward. Any other questions? Any other comments? Any other ideas that you have? How we can make this better? We'll be very happy to receive it from you.
I mean, it's even though it's a business is your call. Sorry if I have to, but when you look up at the other side of India, where there are a lot of colleges in rural India.
Yes.
And these colleges may not be what we call investing in there. I'll put that word invest in quotes. So that is why I have asked this question that how can a set of students can access this? Because I know that there is something economics to side, but I'm not really looking to the economic side because that is not my forte.
Yeah, we will definitely.
I'm looking up at more this tool going more deep into the grassroots and to.
Sure, we will definitely. We will
set of colleges where students.
We will surely look into that idea and try to see that we meet your expectations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
I mean, this is a sort of request from the student community of rural areas.
I get your point. We'll definitely do something about it. Thank you. Yeah. Any other questions if you have? Anyone with any other comments, questions, or feedback or suggestions like Rama gave it to us? It's an excellent suggestion he has given. We'll definitely try and see as to how this can be accessed by many people in rural India in a larger way. Yes, we'll do that. Okay, so if there are no questions, I think I've done very well. So thank you so much for your time.
Excellent one, sir.
Thank you.
It is what it is needed, sir. Like whenever we are looking out on when students are coming with idea,
yeah.
So what is next? That is the solution with you, sir. What is next is you.
Absolutely.
After idea.
Actually, this is the result of my 25 years of work that I have done, and how we can solve their problems. And it's now filtered to this level, and I feel very happy when I listen to all of you. It inspires us more, and it is all because of your inspiration that the product has taken this shape. Every time I used to make the presentation, and people used to really like it, and we went on making the improvement. We never stopped. Even today, we don't stop. I think that is an endeavor because I believe innovation is all about an evolution, and it's a revolutionary journey. And must thank Anthony again, for his valuable feedback. He always inspires us. He's always been, very, very encouraging to us. we are very sure that within a very short span of time, we will be able to resolve the big challenges of the academics and even the organizations all over the world.
Hello.
Yeah, good
Yes.
evening, sir. This is Amit here from.
Yes. Hi, Amit. How are you? I didn't know you were there. Great.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
First, in fact, I do not have any questions. I just want to express my heartfelt thanks and appreciations for
Thank
this
you.
is something magic actually. If I can say a word, one word to describe these tools and techniques, it's full of excitements, full of fun, and full of fantastic learning experience.
Thank you, Amit. By the way, Anthony, let me introduce Amit. Amit heads the business excellence and innovation for Kirloskar oil engines in India. So, and Amit is very excited, by your certification programs. I have already suggested to him. So, he would definitely take it forward, as we go ahead. So thank you, Amit, for that feedback. We are very delighted. And if you call it a magic, I say that there is a supernatural power beyond a man. and when that power starts working, you see that, it happens in this state. So I think it's a universal conspiracy by the supreme intelligence. I believe in God, and I believe that it is His intelligence which is reflecting through me. That's it.
Sir, hats off to your
Pravin.
passion.
Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.
I'm Pranveer.
Yes, sir. How are you? we only discussed yesterday. Yes. How are you doing? Yes.
I'm good. My suggestion, because I'm in academia, and I know that what is the current mindset of that younger generation. I would like to suggest you, if you can develop that the stepwise process flow diagram.
Yeah, it is already there, sir. The process flow diagram in the whole manual that we have created is there, but time was less. I could not show. But if you see how the whole process works, it is right on your screen. So, this is how people have to look into the whole area.
No. My point is that how to retrieve this platform.
Yeah, that is there. No, that is what I'm saying. See, if I go and say that, the guidelines, it is all here in front of you. I mean, the guidelines for retrieving, not only retrieving, but also using the platform to its maximum potential. So how will I use section number 1? How will I use section number 6, for example, global challenges? Which mind map I will go to? Everything it says, go to problem statement mind map, go to this mind map, go to startup development framework, go to 3D idea generator. Sir, everything is covered. There is no need for any manual intervention from a professor.
No, not manual intervention. That is the basically.
So the process, the complete guidelines is in front of you for every section.
That I could not cross through that.
Yeah. Because we had less time. You can go back to the index, and if you want to know how this, venture capital companies have to be used, resources for breakthrough innovations have to be used. Every section is covered threadbare with the screenshots, what you will see, what to enter into, where to go, how it is going to make a difference. So it's it is all everything. So for example, I talked about foresight, it is there.
That is
the radar.
I was thinking that otherwise the younger mind will be stuck in between.
No, sir. No. I think Anthony and me, we spent a lot of time, in creating a detailed process for the entire VIN platform, so that there is no confusion in the minds of people.
Okay.
Yeah, you can download this guidebook from either the Innovation Next or the GI9 website.
Yes, it is there on the GI9 website. You can download that. And it is also available on the Innovation Next website. We believe in the detailed processing of everything, and I believe process is very important.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes, thank you very much for joining in, sir.
Thank you. So on this closing note, I guess we had a wonderful session with a lot of insights coming on from Mr. Anthony Mills and Mr. Pravin Rajpal. Of course, we had lovely questions coming from the audience as well. And it's an interesting insights coming in. for developing breakthroughs, for startups and corporate ventures. So on this note, I would like to thank Mr. Anthony Mills and Pravin sir for being here, sharing great insights on the subject and making this session so engaging and interesting.
Thank
And
you,
thank
Ekta.
you. Yes, thank
Thank
you,
you.
our lovely audience, for being here, putting your questions and suggestions to Mr. Pravin and Mr. Anthony for making it very successful. Thank you, Mr. Jay Bharadwaj, for hosting the audience with me.
I would like to, give a vote of thanks to Anthony Mills, special thanks to him, to Ekta Dubey, to all the participants, who came in despite the fact that, the time was 6 o'clock and they had to go to their homes and families and everything. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jay, Ekta's team, and everybody who participated. It was really a great pleasure. We look forward to a wonderful, session and, more programs with you in the future. Dr. Kalurkar, Amit, Pranveer sir, everybody who was there today, who took up their time and came here. Heartfelt thanks. Wish you all the best.
It was
Thank
pleasure.
you. Wish you all the best.
Pleasure listening to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Really, it was pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And, I wish you all the best. Thank you, Anthony, once again, and wish you all the best.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe and have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.